Hey Delmarva, it's good to talk to you again about this new getaway we're talking about in October called Replenish. You need to know as ministers that we cannot neglect the reality that ministers are indeed first responders. Ministers are called to death scenes. Ministers are called to traumatic health events. Ministers are called in the middle of the night when betrayal of marriage is experienced. Ministers are called when families are getting the diagnosis of a terminal illness or disease. Ministers are called to all of the same experiences as professionally trained first responders are. All the stress that a policeman or a firefighter encounters, or an emergency technician in an emergency room encounters, is exactly the same that a minister encounters as they are called as a first responder. But ministers have none of the training. Ministers have very little experience in the professional world that these other first responders do, and stress builds over time. Furthermore, police officers and firefighters, they don't counsel the family after a death occurs. They don't work on the funeral and plan the funeral and officiate the funeral and go to the reception afterwards. No police officer does that, no firefighter does that, but every minister does that. And every minister carries that burden with the family for at least a year afterwards or more. For a ministry event like that, stress is traumatic, and it builds over time. This stress is unique and it's dangerous in ministry. How do ministers cope? What are the mechanisms for healthy coping that ministers can employ so that they don't end up burned out, worn out, or feeling hopeless? This coming October at our Replenish Retreat, we are going to help you learn those mechanisms of good soul health care as a first responder. I look forward to seeing you there.